Eberflus. Yes, I told everyone I would be back on Monday. I'm doing it on Sunday instead. I have it corrected moving forward. Matt Eberflus. I apologize for everyone for getting that wrong, but I wanted to open up the episode before our introduction. Thank you all for the support from last episode. We had a lot of great comments. We're very excited about the coordinators that we hired, but welcome to this episode of Just Another Year Chicago. My name is Nick Rohde. I am solo today. Happy Championship Sunday. My dream Super Bowl after this weekend will be the Bengals and the Rams. Want to see Joe Burrow take a very unexpected Rams team to the big game, and Matthew Stafford, who was just on all those bad Lions teams for all those years, yet always did his best to try to get them to even the playoffs or a playoff win. I want to see him make it to the Super Bowl and potentially win a ring. But we're not here to talk about that. We are here to talk about who the Bears have been hiring this past weekend. They were busy. There's a lot of guys on the target list. And also, there's rumors that Jim Harbaugh actually still might be coming to the NFC North. Apparently, he is interviewing with the Minnesota Vikings. But we're not worried about that because we have the super team of coaching staffs entering this next NFL season already, and we're here to break it down for you. So let's start with the front office news. For the first time in Bears history, they have an assistant general manager. Yes, our new assistant general manager under Ryan Poles, Ian Cunningham from the Philadelphia Eagles, will be joining the Chicago Bears. Again, the first assistant general manager ever in Chicago Bears history. 14 years of NFL executive experience. First 9 were with the Baltimore Ravens, last 4 with the Eagles. He won a Super Bowl with both teams. Obviously, he knows how to win. He's been around winning cultures, and he's hoping to bring that to Chicago. Let's start with his Ravens history. He was a player personnel assistant from 2008 to 2012. He was an area scout from 2013 to 2016. After that, he was hired by the Eagles in 2017 to be the director of college scouting through 2018. Then he became the assistant director of player personnel 2019 to 2020. And then became the director of player personnel in 2021 last year, which he was like, you know what? It's time for me to get another bump, another promotion. Let's go to Chicago and help them win a Super Bowl. Clearly, he's been around a lot of organizations. Again, it's good to have that. This is what it takes to win. This is what we know we need to do. And helping have that influence with Ryan Poles to help make decisions instead of Poles, who is a rookie general manager himself, is just not like, I don't know if I should do this. How about this? Oh, I'll just listen to coach. There's much more evaluation process. It's good because obviously George McCaskey is just a football fan, and his boss, Ryan Poles' boss, won't have as much education as Ian Cunningham will. So welcome to Chicago, Ian Cunningham. Fun fact, they were both drafted in the same exact, undrafted in the same exact draft. They were unrestricted, undrafted free agents in 2008. And went the executive route right after. Cool to see these guys go on a cool storyline of meeting up in Chicago and bringing the Bears, hopefully in the next year, and especially the Bears being in wild card championship weekend next year. Hopefully that is the case. Matt Eberflus. I'm going to keep saying it because I know you guys, I want it. I'm making sure I got it right. Just wanted to randomly say that in there, throw that in there. Let's go into the Bears have hired an offensive coordinator, stepping over enemy lines. Offensive coordinator now, Luke Getsy. Luke Getsy worked for the Packers recently. He was the passing game coordinator and quarterback coach for the Packers. Young guy at 37 years old, played a little ball in college as well. Right after college, went right into coaching. He was actually an undrafted free agent, went to the 49ers, was on the practice squad for his first year, and then now he became a coach. So in his NFL coaching career, though, he has entirely been with the Packers. He was the offensive quality control coach from 2014 to 2015. He was the wide receiver coach from 2016 to 2017. Left Green Bay to be the offensive coordinator at Mississippi State in 2018. Was the middle of the pack offense out of a 130 ranking. They were 68th, so not too bad. You know, obviously a good time for a first-time offensive coordinator. Good to hear that. And then he came back to Green Bay in 2019 as the quarterbacks coach, and then he took on the responsibility of also being the passing game coordinator from 2020 to 2021, along with being the quarterbacks coach. Worked out obviously for him, you know, and it works out for the Bears as well. You know, Nathaniel Hackett, who was rumored to potentially be the Bears head coach, went to Denver, and now the Bears are taking even more of their passing coaching away from Aaron Rodgers and the pack, and now they are bringing Luke Getsy in. So Aaron Rodgers has had quite a bit of success with him being the passing game coordinator. Rodgers sometimes calls his own shots, as we know, but again, great experience, young guy coming into the Bears organization as the offensive coordinator. In the playoffs nearly every single year with Getsy working with them. Developed Devontae Adams, Adam Lazard, many, many more. So good to see Luke Getsy getting the shot and pretty much Every target that Aaron Rodgers has ever had, Getsy has helped made them a valuable threat to the team. Let's go to the other hiring that we've had this weekend. Colts cornerback coach James Rowe. 15 years of coaching experience. Last year was with the Colts. Obviously, that connection with Matt Eberflus is always a good thing to have. Eberflus, see, it's coming naturally now. A huge reason that Rock Ya-Sin and Isaiah Rodgers of the Colts last year had such big seasons. Break down their stats. Rock Ya-Sin had 8 pass deflections, 1 forced fumble, 31 tackles, 27 of those being solo. That's pretty impressive. Obviously, he didn't go to the Eddie Jackson tackling camp that was before this season. He knew what he was doing. And then the other guy, Isaiah Rodgers, 7 pass deflections, 1 fumble, 3 interceptions, 49 tackles, 39 of those being solo. I think that, James Rowe was running his own tackling camp, obviously. And then also Isaiah Rodgers had 1 tackle for loss as a DB. Very impressive. Colts defense ranked 3rd in interceptions last year. These guys were locked down, made it harder to throw those deep passes to wide receivers, obviously getting interceptions themselves, but also making it for the linebackers, who was led by Dave Borginza and Matt Eberflus. So all 3 of them work very close together. They're all in Chicago now, and that is a big deal. Now, we have a few more people that the Bears are targeting for jobs, so more to come hopefully on Monday's episode. Again, this is being recorded on Sunday at 12:54 p.m. Central Time. Browns offensive line coach Bill Callahan for our offensive line coach position. So no promotion, probably a quite bit of a pay bump, but going to a team that desperately needs offensive line coaching help, viewed as by many, and if not the best offensive line coach in the NFL, has been recognized that way for quite some time. Cleveland's line has vastly improved since his time has gotten there, even though Baker Mayfield has dealt with injuries. It's not really the line's fault. I mean, Baker Mayfield arguably is a piece of glass at points in regard to injuries. Still love him though. Great quarterback. A lot of fun to watch. The Bears offensive line needs the best of the best in order to improve themselves, though. They're still a pretty young unit. Cody Whitehair is approaching 30, but besides Jason Peters, who is likely retiring, he's 40 years old, Tevin Jenkins, Larry Borum, James Daniels, Sam Mustipher, Cody Whitehair, a young unit, and the Bears are likely going to be drafting. Stay tuned for our mock draft 1.0 this upcoming Friday. But the Bears are likely going to draft some linemen and bring them in. Why not have the best of the best develop them early in their career to not create bad habits and also get off on the right foot? Next is Colts safeties coach Alan Williams for defensive coordinator. He is 52 years old, has coached since 1992, and began coaching in the NFL in 2001. He worked for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in 2001 as a defensive assistant. Then he went to the Indianapolis Colts for the next 9 years as the defensive backs coach. Went to 2 Super Bowls, won one of them. Obviously, the one was against the Chicago Bears in 2006. Then he went to the Minnesota Vikings as their defensive coordinator. So he does have defensive coordinator experience, which is great coming into the position. From 2012 to 2013, the Vikings made the playoffs one of those years. And during that season, which is in 2012, they were 8th in fumbles, 10th in passing yards allowed, 8th in rushing touchdowns, and 7th in rushing yards allowed. So crazy to think that he's a defensive backs coach, but they were doing that well. And, you kind of go back and look at some of Minnesota's, development and some of their defensive schemes. A lot of their corners and safety, their defensive backs as a whole played up, and that's why they did so well against the rush. So he knows how to make a defense scary. He knows that this is the NFC North, at least, is a very run-heavy division, especially with Dalvin Cook, Aaron Jones, David Montgomery, and whoever's running the ball in Detroit, because they just always seem to have scrappy guys. Overall, I think that would be a great addition as our defensive coordinator, and he worked with Eberflus for a very long time. After that, after his time as defensive coordinator for the Vikings, he became a defensive backs and safeties coach for the Detroit Lions from 2014 to 2017. And then the Colts said, hey, you want to come back and hang out? And who called him? Eberflus to be on his defensive staff. He was a defensive backs coach and safeties coach from 2018 to now, but he is being interviewed for the position. Worked the entire time with Eberflus in Indianapolis and one of the best secondaries in the league for the last few years. Also helping benefit and teaching the linebackers and anybody else how to play like a DB, but in their respected position. So very good. And we have another post about that on our Instagram. Please make sure to go follow at official Jay Shy. And then the last guy I want to talk about really quickly that we're aiming to have as our quarterbacks coach is Panthers offensive coordinator Joe Brady. Got a bad rep in Carolina because of, the Panthers, Christian McCaffrey was hurt a lot. You bring Cam Newton back. They missed the playoffs. a couple different, Sam Darnold's out there, just weird development over in Carolina, and he got a bad rep out there. But what he's known for is his great success in 2019 at LSU as Joe Burrow's quarterback coach, making him arguably one of the most elite quarterbacks in the last decade in college football. But also look at where Joe Burrow is now. Championship weekend. Where are the Bears? Not in championship weekend. Why not bring Joe Brady in and help develop Justin Fields into his own style? Not being Joe Burrow, being Justin Fields, his own elite quarterback. Young guy at 32 years old, and that's what I love about this staff, bringing in a lot of younger guys. A good mix of longtime veteran coaches, but also young guys who understand today's game, especially on the offensive side of the ball, and making the Bears hopefully turn into an LA Rams style team, or anyone with a quick offense that's young, fast, the Chiefs or anything like that. So very, very busy weekend for the Chicago Bears. Pep Hamilton is likely going to stay with the Houston Texans since he did not get the offensive coordinator job in Chicago. Best of luck to him. I know a lot of people were excited about it. But this was a super quick update episode. We will have more updates for you guys coming tomorrow on Monday. I'll be doing another solo unless Tony says, hey, I'm hopping on. But we'll have episodes all throughout the week. And then Friday is our big first mock draft. So stay tuned for that. But with that, thank you very much for joining this episode of Just Another Year Chicago. My name is Dick Brody. Enjoy your championship Sunday. Be safe out there. Enjoy, any sort of dips, any sort of pizza, anything, especially Lil Malnati's. Thanks for sponsoring this episode. And we will see you guys next time.